Kimberly from Fat Quarter Shop, and we at Fat Quarter Shop love to bring you free patterns. So we have a brand new one designed by Gina Tell of Thread Graffiti. She's our resident long arm quilter, and she had made this for a gift for somebody, and we all really loved it, so we asked her if we could put it into a pattern. And as a bonus, we are using triangle paper, and we're offering you 6 sizes for free. So you can use the Triangles on a Roll PC 100 and a charm pack to make an 8-inch quilt. You can use the H200 Triangles on a Roll with a jolly bar to make a 16-inch quilt. You can use Triangles on a Roll H300 and a jolly bar to make a 24-inch quilt. You can use H400 with 14 fat 8s to make a 32-inch square quilt. You can use Triangles on a Roll H500 with 14 fat 8s to make a 40-inch quilt. And the biggest size of all is you can use H600 Triangles on a Roll with 14 fat 8s to make the 48-inch square quilt that's hanging behind me. So this is very beginner friendly, so let's get started. It's going to be the same technique for all of the sizes. When you print your free pattern from Fat Quarter Shop, you're going to see each of the different sizes have their own instructions. So just decide which one works best for you and follow those instructions. We'll be using the same techniques throughout, just different sizes. Your first step is to take a fabric A and fabric E rectangle. Now, of course, in each of the quilts, they will be different sizes, so just follow your pattern. Put those right sides together and make sure it's nice and flat. Then take the Triangles on a Roll that is called for in the instructions. We're going to cut 2 squares off. So no matter what size you're using, you're going to cut off 2 squares. Cut directly on the line. I'm going to stitch today with Aurifil color 2000. And you can see that this paper will kind of move, and you don't want it to move. You want it to be nice and flat for more accurate results. So the more pins, the better. Just keep your pins away from the dotted lines, but put as many pins as you need for it to stay nice and flat. If it has a bubble in it, you're going to have triangles that come out that are not the right size. So the whole point of using Triangles on a Roll is for accuracy, so that's why you want to make sure it's nice and flat. Now if you're using a smaller Triangles on a Roll paper, you won't have to use as many pins. We're going to go to our sewing machine using color 2000. I like to match my thread to my background, so that's how I picked that color, and this is my favorite color of Aurifil. And you're going to see dotted lines and solid lines. We're going to stitch on all of the dotted lines directly on those lines with the 1.5 stitch length. So now that I'm done sewing, I will just remove all of these pins before I trim. And once you're done with your Triangles on a Roll, you want to trim on all of your solid lines. So I find it's easiest to cut on the 4 sides first and then cut in the middle second. And you just want to cut directly on the lines. When you cut the 2 diagonal lines, you don't have to be 100% accurate because that is in your seam allowance. So it's the same technique on all 6 quilts, just using different sized fabrics and triangles on a roll. So to pull your paper off, you'll just pull it back, crease it, and it should just pull right off. Now you started with 8 fabrics of a print, and you make 4 half square triangles from each, so you will be making a total of 32 half square triangles. I'm gonna move the iron over the fabric, and that is called setting our seam. Then I'm going to press to one side, and when I'm ironing, put the little edge of your iron right on that crease. And don't move your iron too much so that they come out nice and flat. And now before I press these open, I'm going to cut off these little dog ears, because if you do it before you press open, you have less to cut off. And on this quilt, we're making a big gigantic star, and the reason we're pressing open is because we're creating that big gigantic star, there are a lot of seams, and everything will lie nice and flatter with seams pressed open. And when I am ironing and I need to press open, I always press to one side and then press open, and the reason why is I'm less likely to burn myself. If I try to just press open without pressing to one side, I absolutely will burn myself. So you're going to iron all of your half square triangles just like this until you have all 32 complete. To start building your block, you're going to use 2 half square triangles, a fabric B square, and a fabric F square. You want your quilt to be scrappy, so just use 3 different fabrics here. Stitch with a 1/4 inch seam, press, open, and then stitch the other way and press open. And you will have a star point unit that looks just like this, and your points on the back look nice and flat, and you're going to make 12 of these units. Now we're on the 3rd step. You're going to take a fabric D and fabric G square, stitch those together. Once that is pressed, you will add the fabric C rectangle. This is going to go in the center of the star, and you're going to make 4. This is the last unit you're going to make before they turn into blocks. You're going to take another fabric B square, 2 different half square triangles, and a 3 patch unit. You're going to stitch these together, press, and stitch those together, and your corner unit will look just like this. Now to make the final block, you're going to lay out 3 star point units and 1 corner unit, and you're going to have a beautiful star, and this is going to kind of connect in the center. So you're going to stitch down here with a 1/4 inch seam, press, and stitch with a 1/4 inch seam. And it would be great if you use lots of pins when you're working with this, since there's so many star points. And when that is put together, here is your star block. And you're going to make 4 of these. Now you're going to lay out your quilt center with 4 of these blocks. And when you do that, this is going to be your center. So you will have 4 that touch, just like this diagram. So since Gina designed this quilt in 6 sizes, I'm going to show you how they look in each size. The first quilt uses Eleanor's Endeavor by Betsy Chutchin and Moda, and it finishes at 8 inches square. We made the second smallest quilt using the Happy Days collection by Sherry and Chelsea, and it finishes at 16 inches square. The third quilt features Rise by Melody Miller for Ruby Star Society, and it finishes at 24 inches, and I love this one since it shows you how this beautiful quilt can work in modern fabrics. The fourth quilt finishes 32 inches square, and this quilt features Confection Batiks by Kate Spain with the Bella Solid, and all of these quilts feature Moda fabrics. This 40-inch square quilt features Dwell by Ginger Burr, and a grunge basic. We hope you love all of the possibilities in our Pointed Possibilities free pattern by Gina Tell. Make sure to pick it up today with your favorite triangles on a roll and use scraps from your stash to build this beautiful quilt. See you next time, and make sure to subscribe.